Do you know what makes a true difference between a powerful AI agents, AI workflow versus a simple AI chatbots? That is the ability to access and use external tools. While most LLM today are designed to handle back and forth conversations, true AI agents can connect to your calendar, database, email, any service or tools your business use and perform the task on the fly. And the technology making this possible and scalable at the same time is MCP, Model Context Protocol. So in this video, I'll explain everything you need to know about MCP, including practical demos, so you know why MCP is a big piece for building powerful AI workflows or AI agents. Let's go. So what is MCP? By definition, MCP is an open source protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLM. And let me explain this. Before MCP, connecting AI to your business tools or system is like trying to lead a team where everyone speaks a different language. Imagine your AI needs to get data from Salesforce. It has to learn to speak Salesforce. And then for it to understand your company, Google Analytics, your AI needs to learn a completely different language. Each connection is like a custom one-off translation project. You or your team has to act as an individual translator, teaching the AI how to communicate with each tool, one by one. And this is using what we call the traditional API method. Of course, this method works 100%, but the biggest problem is because AI is changing so fast, this method simply doesn't scale. When the AI model changes or a new AI model rolls out, imagine you have 10 different tools. You are managing 10 separate conversations. So that's why the solution, we have MCP. Think of it like a universal translator for the AI. Instead of AI learning 10 different languages, it only needs to learn one, the language of MCP. And so when service providers also adopt MCP, they all speak the same standard language and save much of your custom integration efforts. And even better, your AI applications now become model agnostic. That means you can swap your AI models at any time from ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude to any future model that support MCP without rebuilding the integration from scratch. So that's why MCP is the critical infrastructure for AI agents or AI workflows. It's a technology empowering AI from a simple chatbot into a scalable business system. Now let's quickly understand how MCP actually works. The simplified way to understand the architecture is having the two main components, the MCP server and the MCP client with a host. Think of it like this. We have MCP servers. These are the business tools that provide the capabilities like your business tools, database. And then you have MCP clients. These are the AI applications that use this tool like Claude or ChatGPT. So when the client says, I need to grab this company data, the server will respond and return the data. And MCP is like the universal translator between them. MCP servers can run remotely on the cloud or locally on your computer. And I would say remote MCP servers are becoming more popular as MCP is now widely adopted and supported by AI companies. They are more simple to set up, just paste the link and you're good to go. While local MCP servers are more secure but require more technical setup. And generally, there are 4 ways to connect your AI system to MCP servers. Here is how to choose the right approach for your needs. First, native integration, your lowest risk option. Popular AI apps like ChatGPT Claude now offers built-in MCP connectors to tools like Gmail, Calendar, Google Drive. So choose this when you need reliability and want zero technical setup. But they also have some limitations for now, which I will talk about in a minute. And second, official MCP servers from service providers like Notion, HubSpot, Perplexity. So more companies are building their own MCP servers for your local or remote installation. So choose this when the native integration is not available or can't do what you want, and you want maximum reliability and security. You can check the full list from the official MCP GitHub page. Third, community builds MCP servers for specialized tools like Airtable, which currently does not have an official MCP servers. Basically, these are servers maintained by some individuals from the community. You have to bear the potential security risk of using them, like potential data leakage, prompt injection. So choose this only when you need capabilities not covered by the official options, but understand there is a higher risk and less support. There are different MCP marketplace or registry where you can explore different MCP servers for your needs, like Smithery, MCP Market, MCP.so, Awesome MCP servers. I'll put all the links below. And fourth, custom MCP servers you build yourself, like using no-code platforms. If you're a developer, you can also build one using Python SDK or the JavaScript SDK. SDK. So choose this when you have unique business requirement or proprietary system that need custom integration. So my recommendation is always start with native integration, then official servers. Only move to community or custom solutions when necessary, and always grant the minimal necessary permission for security reasons. Now, besides MCP servers, we also have MCP clients. They are simply the AI applications you're already using today. Good news is that most of the popular AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Windsurf, Cursor, they offer support to MCP, and Claude still offers the best MCP support. ChatGPT has added the MCP connector so you can connect to different tools. For now, this only works during chat search or deep research mode. That means ChatGPT can read and analyze data from your tools, but it cannot create, edit, or send anything. As for Gemini, the current MCP support is only available through the use of Google's Gemini API within the SDK. But don't get disappointed, I believe things will keep changing. These AI companies are adding more support to MCP. It's just a matter of time. Now let me show you how to actually install an MCP server for tools or data assets so you can extend the capabilities for AI workflows or AI agents. Let's start with the easiest and the safest option, official integration. So on ChatGPT, you can just go to settings, connectors, and you will see a list of available MCP connectors like Gmail, Calendar, Hotspot. You can just click the app that you want and establish the MCP connections. For example, I can connect ChatGPT to my Gmail. But as I said, unlike the one on Claude, currently the functions are limited to deep research only. And that means you can only let ChatGPT retrieve data from your Gmail, but are not able to do actions like sending emails, drafting emails. So once the connection is done, you can see it will not appear under the tools, but you will need to select the deep research function first and then turn on the Gmail source. So that means each prompt will be treated as a deep research request and use up a quota. And so you can ask ChatGPT to pull any relevant data and start generating the deep research report. So in this case, I'll ask it to retrieve all my AI related newsletter in my inbox for the past 6 months. And then it will ask you some question, just like a typical deep research request. So imagine if your organization has a big knowledge base, so it is powerful to turn ChatGPT into a deep research agent that connects to your company source and organize insights. And this is exactly what makes agent powerful. And for this case, it will even link back to the exact email that I received. But again, for most ChatGPT plan now, these connectors mainly support deep research functions, so use it only when you have a really big repository to fully maximize its power. Now, in case there is no such native MCP integration offer, you can consider using an official MCP server or community build server, and you need to install locally. And I always recommend using the official MCP server for security reasons. They're more well maintained from the original service provider. So I'm on the official MCP GitHub page. Just look through if your desired tool is on the list, but note this method currently only works for Claude desktop. For example, Notion has their official MCP server, and I want to enable my LLM to call Notion. Then I can just follow the instructions to this repository. Note different MCP servers might have different instructions, but they're more or less the same, which usually involve generating the service token and adding the MCP config to your LLM. So first, we will create the integrations on Notion, set up a new integrations by giving it a name, and then we can configure the integration settings. So here we can grant the necessary permission. My tip is just grant the functions that you only need. For demo purpose, I will keep the default, and then also go to access. So here you can specify which pages that these MCP server connections has access to. Let's say I wanted to access only to my internal brand kit guidelines, and of course you can click more than that. And here is the token. So these will be used to establish the connections to this MCP server in the LLM. So copy it and we will use it later. Now, following the instructions, the next step is to add the MCP config to the configuration file. So on Claude desktop, go to settings under developer. If you don't have any tools installed, it should look blank, and click edit config. Now it will bring you to the configuration file and open it using any editor, and paste this config according to the instructions, and we place the parameters with the API keys we just generate. Note, since this method uses the npx command, whether you're a PC or Mac users, you must first install the node.js package first in order to execute this command. I'll put the link below and then click save. Now quit the Claude application and we start again. If everything is set up correctly, you should be able to see the Notion tool appear here. If not, usually because there is syntax error in your configuration file, you can just ask AI to fix it for you. Let's say I'm preparing a social media brief for a product launch, and this is the Notion page we just gave the MCP access. It's a brand kit with our brand style guide, target audience details, etc. And this is just like a knowledge hub shared across the team. And then on Claude, we can use this prompt to ask it to generate the brief by following our brand voice and target persona information. And very important is if you haven't set any custom instructions or use a project, you should specify what tool it should use in the prompt. Otherwise, it may not get it. And then you can see it will prompt to ask for the connection permission, and then immediately it will generate the brief for you. And the best thing is it will pull back all the shared information, like the brand voice, brand color palette we store on Notion. And the generated response will be much more relevant to your brand. So you can think about what external data tool that will benefit your workflow, and you can follow this same method and add it to your LLM. And this is how you can enable agent behavior. And you can always review the assets and turn off those functions you don't want the agent to access, and just leaving those really necessary. Alright, in case there's no official native integrations, no available MCP servers for your desired tool, you can consider building a custom MCP server. Of course, as a non-technical myself, NXN is my first choice as it's a no-code platform. So on NXN, we will create a new workflow. And now add an MCP server trigger. And do not change any setting yet, and back to the canvas. Now we can add the tools to this MCP server. NXN already offers integrations for different popular service or data source like Asana, Airtable, Google Ads, Google Analytics. And for this demo, let's just pick Google Analytics. And for whatever tools you connect to this MCP server, you must first establish the connections with your service account. So in this case, it's my GA account connection. And then we can select the parameter details to configure what access this MCP server would get. And different tools will have different settings. In this case, things like the GA account, property, default day range, metrics, dimensions, and there's so many different metrics you can pull. So just select which metrics that you need so this server will have access. Once you're satisfied, we are ready for the next step. So you can see this custom MCP server now connects to this GA4 get reports function, and you can always add more tools, connections, or function as well, like getting Google Sheets data, updating Google Sheets, etc. And to make this work, we need to first activate this workflow, and then click the MCP server, and under the MCP URL, you will see there is a production URL, and this is your remote MCP server URL. So copy it as we are going to add to your LLM. Now the best news is Claude just announced the support of custom integration, so you no longer need to use Claude locally in order to access your remote MCP server. So on Claude web app, you can now click here to add any custom integration. Here you will see a list of existing integration. So click add integration. And here you can add your remote MCP server URL. So let's call it NXN MCP server and then paste the URL. And then the MCP server is added here. It's very simple. And now you can directly call your custom MCP server from Claude to access the tool. If you're using ChatGPT, it also has a similar functions of adding your custom MCP server. But for now, it's just for higher tier plan like Pro plan or Teams plan. And it only supports custom MCP server that does deep research or file retrieval. So keep this in mind. Now let's ask Claude to generate a dashboard by retrieving the Google Analytics data. Again, we might Claude to use this tool since we are not running the prompt inside the project. So it will prompt you to access these NXN MCP server we just add. And then in a minute, the dashboard is ready with the specified brand tone, charts, metrics. So this is a game changer. You can now directly call this remote MCP server, retrieve data, generate quick insights or dashboard within your workflows, or equip your agents to do this. So you don't need to go back and forth between your service account. A bonus tip is do not connect too many different types of tools to an MCP server. Try to limit no more than 5 because more tools might confuse your agents and might make the process less effective. So you can see why MCP MCP will make your AI workflows or AI agents 10x more powerful if they have the access to the right tools with a scalable technology. And this will help setting the foundations for building true agentic AI in your organization. Join my community to get more inspirations about how to use AI more strategically for your business or marketing. You will get access to all my tester prompts I share on my channel and other feature content. You can find the link in the description to join. And before you go, make sure you watch this video about Claude plus MCP to get more AI agents ideas that you can start building today using MCP. I will see you next time.